Lagos is walking. Lagos is evolving. Lagos is transforming. A greater Lagos is emerging and manifesting. On the City of Lagos TV show, we capture the sights and sounds, the thrills and thrills to tell the success story about our great city, Lagos. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Lagos Update on the City of Lagos TV show, where we keep you posted about recent developments in and around the city of Lagos. We'll be right back. Today on Lagos Update, we begin with the press briefing organized by the Ministry of Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investment to officially mark two major landmark historical events, which are the Lagos Investment Summit 2.0 and Africa Social Impact Summit 4.0 2025. The Honorable Commissioner for Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investment, Mrs. Folashade Ambrose Medebam, held a press conference to present and articulate the strategic importance, benefits and value of the events as catalysts for industrial and infrastructure development of Lagos State. While reeling out the essence of the event, she, however, noted that the outcome of the events will definitely fortify Lagos State as the heartbeat of Africa's thriving economy.
The essence of this summit symbolizes our deliberate transition from aspiration to realization, potential to performance, and from discussions to tangible developmental achievements. At its core, this summit is a powerful and strategic platform designed to galvanize meaningful collaborations and catalytic partnerships. It seeks to convene visionary investors, forward-looking policymakers, industry pioneers, global stakeholders, and influential development partners under one roof. Collectively, we will explore innovative solutions to propel infrastructure expansion, pioneer creative financing strategies, bolster entrepreneurial ecosystems, and accelerate digital innovations that collectively fortify Lagos State as the heartbeat of Africa's thriving economy. This momentous summit arrives at an opportune time when Lagos State is asserting itself firmly as Africa's foremost destination for investment, talent attraction, technological innovation, and infrastructural excellence. Our strategic growth sectors include transformative civil infrastructure, sustainable and integrated transportation systems, pioneering technological advancements, healthcare systems, renewable green energy initiatives, the thriving creative and entertainment economy, booming real estate and construction sectors, dynamic agribusiness ventures, and robust blue economy investments. A defining feature of this summit will be our dedicated deal rooms, meticulously designed spaces where political heads and senior officials from our ministries, departments, and agencies, MDAs, will be given the opportunity to articulate precise and compelling investment pitches to both local and global investors. These bespoke, high-value matchmaking sessions will foster meaningful engagements and lead to partnerships essential to Lagos State's sustained economic vitality and inclusive prosperity.
And still on Lagos Update, the team leader of the Brighter Bridges, Safer Lagos initiative from the Latif Jakonde Leadership Academy recently launched solar-powered smart lighting systems on pedestrian bridges across Lagos. Addressing the press at a recent press briefing, the team leader, Damilola Shinaba, gave the vision progress report of the initiative so far, as well as strategic approach to achieve its set objectives and its ability to ensure sustainability.
Please join me in recognizing my team members whose tireless efforts brought this project to life. Our capstone vision, which is the Brighter Bridges Safer Lagos project, seeks to transform public safety through infrastructure innovation using solar technology and community participation. Today, we proudly launched the pilot installation of solar-powered smart lighting on the Alausa Ikeja Secretariat CMD Road pedestrian bridge, which is a critical link between Ikeja government corridor and one of Lagos' busiest commuter roads. Next, that we plan on doing is the Sanwo-Olu pedestrian bridge. So following the success of this bridge, with more support, we hope to move next to Sanwo-Olu pedestrian bridge, which is also a new north spot that connects inward Lagos mainland traffic to the third mainland bridge. And why we choose to do Sanwo-Olu bridge next is because it's also frequently used by commuters, traders, students, and route the third mainland bridge. And also, as the Lagos State Enforcement has reported, that they reported detaining people who extort on the bridges. This also indicates that that bridge has some security and lighting deficits. Hence, we choose to do that next. We have designed and have done as engineering assessment. So next is installation and community engagement, which may commence in the coming weeks. Our long-term objective, with collaboration and support, we aim to light up more high-risk pedestrian bridges across Lagos in the months to come. We hope to reduce bridge-related crime drastically. We hope to improve nighttime usage of pedestrian bridges significantly. Our evaluation and monitoring KPIs include to light up the bridges at night at most 95% of the time, and also we'll evaluate it by doing public satisfactory surveys and also through incident reporting in collaboration with the LNSC and the RRS. This project is community-owned, it's not just government-supported. So we'll conduct bridge user engagements and campaigns. We'll also ensure that it's always 100% solar across all installations to ensure sustainability and green energy.
And finally, on Lagos Update, the Lateef Jakonde Leadership Academy, Team A, known as Empower Team, launched as part of their capstone projects, an employability hub for the less privileged in the city of Lagos. The executive secretary of the academy, Aishat Olabimpe Agbaje Okwade, spoke on the rationale and set objectives of the launch.
We are here to celebrate the launch of the capstone project of the Fellows of the Lateef Jakonde Group A. So at the Lateef Jakonde Leadership Academy, we ensure that as we're giving to the fellows and we're grooming them and we're, teaching them the tenets of leadership, they are also prepared to give back, because part of the abilities or the key abilities of leaders is that they are selfless and they have the ability to go back into their communities and improve their communities. And that was an important lesson or an important part of the academy that our fellows need to know about. So as a result, we introduced the capstone project. So part of the capstone project is that they fundraise for a particular project that is there to their community and it changes their community, and they do that project. So I'm very proud of the team here today. So they are doing something amazing. They are being super duper inclusive, and that's important. They're remembering those that are maybe marginalized today, and they're integrating them back in society by digitalizing their classrooms, creating LED boards, digital boards for them, and to make learning is easy, because the world is also moving now, and it's important that we become as inclusive in order to adapt and adopt them and adopt their needs. So essentially, they are doing amazing stuff. So they are giving back. They've planned this project, they fundraised, they've done their needs assessment, and now they're like, this is what they want to do to give back to their community. And it's a lifelong project that they will stick with. So it's not just something that they walk away from. And now we are looking to see the amazing work that they've done, and so we're excited to be here for the launch.
And that's the picture on Lagos Update on the City of Lagos TV show on TV Nigeria. Up next is from the Governor's Office platform on the show. We'll be right back. The recent official activities and engagements of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu is purpose-driven to sustain the drive for a greater Lagos. So let's fill you in from the Governor's Office platform on the City of Lagos TV show on TV Nigeria. We'll be right back. First, from the Governor's Office, the Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, recently commissioned the Babajide Sanwo-Olu, formerly Dokpemu Road in Agege local government area, as well as other strategic roads in Alimosho and Ikotun area of Lagos State. Mr. Governor, in his speech, noted that the commissioning is an indication of achieving the set goals in the government's transportation and traffic management objectives under the Themes Plus agenda.
Ladies and gentlemen, first let me say that I'm truly happy that we can come back to the largest local government in our country. They're the largest in terms of population, in terms of the number of votes, and in terms of the sheer size of this local government and the LCDA that surround it. Alimosho stands tall, and it stands really big. We had also commissioned and handed over the Dokpemu Road, which has been extensively rehabilitated. Today, it's now called Babajide Sanwo-Olu Road. I don't know why they gave him that name. Maybe because I did birthday. But it's the old, long, strategic Dokpemu Road, and we've handed over a completely rehabilitated road for Dokpemu under the Alimosho local government as well. When we left there, we now decided to stop over at two locations. First was to look at what we're doing, around Ikotun. And like Kabiesi rightly said, the Ikotun roundabout is a critical intersection. It's a critical road, and it's a place that I've committed and I've assured the Kabiesis that we're going to do. And we have done extensive research, and we've done extensive assessment of how best we should face, that place. There's traffic issue, there's congestion issue, there's market issue, there's vehicular issue. So there's a lot of complex issues there. So it's not just to go and do it, it's for us to go there and be able to solve, that problem. And we also branch also at another junction to also check out the junction. Now we are finally at the famous Abaranje Road. And so you can see that today marks another significant milestone in our collective journey to achieve the goal set in our transportation and traffic management pillar under the team's agenda. This administration's unwavering focus on world-class infrastructure is driven by a clear vision to reduce traffic time, to save valuable man hours, and to lower vehicular maintenance costs, and to make life meaningful for every resident of the state.
And now quickly to some courtesy visit to Mr. Governor. Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu recently received in audience the youngest British Nigerian mayor in the UK, Princess Elizabeth Okpeyemi Bright. The mayor hinged a visit on her intention to use a position to collaborate with the government of Babajide Sanwo-Olu to promote youth development in diverse areas.
I have been recently appointed the mayor, the youngest serving mayor in the London Borough of Barking and Dagenham. It's truly an honor to be here in Nigeria, but more specifically in Lagos, the state where I am from. Having been born and raised in the UK, but my parents from Nigeria and Lagos specifically, one thing I've always said is when I get to a position whereby I can make a change, I'm keen to give back and see how I can help and support individuals back home in Nigeria. I said it in my acceptance speech when I accepted the post of the mayor of Barking and Dagenham, that one thing that's really keen for me is youth development. Being a young person myself and inspiring the next generation of leaders and change makers, not only in the UK, but also globally. I think for me it's very important to understand my heritage and understand how important it is to give back. I believe in one saying that whatever you give, you will receive, and being able to use the position that I have now to give back and to support others is very important for me. Now, more importantly, being here in Lagos State, one thing that's also very important for me is seeing how I can use the skills that I have to really empower young people, whether it's for them, encouraging them to get into public service, whether it's skills development. I think it's very important, especially during my tenure as mayor, when the limelight is there, but also when the opportunities are there. We hosted Honourable Abike Dabiri-Era in London Borough of Barking and Dagenham. It was 2 weeks ago, and I also made it very clear to her that Nigeria is my home, and being here, I think, is a testament to what I've said. And I'm keen to see how we can partner with Lagos State Government, especially in the area of youth development. I mean, I know the work that you're doing, and it's fantastic to see, but also how I can use my position to really give back and support your vision and your mission, sir.
Mr. Governor, on his part, did not only congratulate the young mayor, but assured her of his government's support and collaboration in areas of concern to her.
I want to congratulate you first for this very noble position of responsibility that the borough passed on to you. We can imagine it's an enormous responsibility. It's not just a tea party, but it's something that I believe that you have worked very hard for. You have earned their trust, and they've seen that as a young person, you are dedicated, committed, and you're willing to serve the people of Dagenham and Barking. Your willingness to work with us. The Honorable Commissioner for Youth and Social Development is here. The Honorable Commissioner for Tourism, Arts and Culture is here. The Special Advisor is here. So they have a whole team of people that can take that conversation forward in areas of collaboration, in areas of youth engagement and youth development, you giving speaking engagement, how to encourage young people, how to give them, a choice of what they could become in life, and how you can tell your own story, as into not giving up and the resilience and share commitments, of what it's all about, and also the diverse cultural opportunity that we have in Lagos. It will be such, an awesome, engagement for you, and we want to wish you all the very, very best.
And finally, from the governor's office, the managing director, Adidas Emerging Markets Africa, and his team recently paid a courtesy visit to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu to acquaint Mr. Governor of the business expansion of Adidas in Lagos through the establishment of strategic Adidas stores in Lagos and key areas of collaboration in sports development.
Your support, your continuing support, has given us the confidence to invest over the years and continue to invest in Lagos going forward. We consider this market a very important one. When I was last here, we didn't have any stores. We now have 5 here in Lagos. And of course, as I said, one of them a very special store indeed. They're all special, but this one's particularly special. And I think you'll see more from us when it comes to investing in Lagos because of the importance we see it playing, not just in Nigeria, not just in our region, but globally. And I think that's the exciting thing, that more and more we are recognizing as a global company the importance of somewhere like Lagos. You'll see it mentioned by our CEO in our all-employee meetings, the excitement that he has of this store opening, the key city teas, which we proudly will see with Adidas and Lagos featuring there. And I think that is truly exciting. So a very big thank you. We could not have done it without your support and without the support of others, so thank you. We talk a lot about this city becoming synonymous. When people think about sport, they think about Adidas. But also we'd like to see Adidas as a citizen of Lagos and being here well and truly, not just for a short time and not just for a good time, but for a long time. And I think that really heightens the importance of when a company like ours comes to somewhere like Lagos, we have a responsibility, not just to do commerce, not just to trade, not just to put our brand on display, but also work with the communities to build up sport. And that's why we're very pleased to donate 200 balls, the Champions League balls, to schools. and also building sports facilities. That's something that we are very much committed to, and you will see us doing in the future. And I think that then will give better opportunities for youth particularly, but for everyone to participate in sport in Lagos. And that's something we take very seriously.
On his part, Mr. Governor assured the Adidas CEO of the state's readiness and willingness to ensure a mutually benefiting relationship with the sports brand.
Let me congratulate you on this very audacious, forward-looking, mutually beneficial business engagement, and e-commerce opportunity in the sports that Adidas has taken. We do not take, especially global names like yourself, we do not take it very lightly. We know what it means for a global brand. We know what it means, for your corporate, image when you make a decision to enter, new territories. We feel truly, really honored, that in the last 12, 18 months, you've had 4, 5 stores now. Now you have a flagship store that you say is the second, largest in Africa. We will still give you an opportunity to have one more that will make that the largest, And we say it very seriously. We say it seriously because Lagos is the largest economy in Africa. Lagos is the largest young dynamic population. Lagos is the largest home that in whatever sporting activity, that you want to talk about, it is. It might be coming a bit late, but it has the sense of purpose to take over the entire space. So let's work together. Once in 6 months, 12 months, you will see that this is nothing. You will want to look at your business growth for the next 5 years and say, you know what, we can have 4 or 5 more stores in Lagos.
And that's a wrap from the Governor's Office platform on the City of Lagos TV show. Thanks for watching. You're still watching the City of Lagos TV show. Up next on the City of Lagos TV show is Agencies in Focus. And this week, we're going to be featuring the Executive Secretary, Chief Executive Officer of the Lagos State Security Trust Fund. It was quite expository and revealing, all in a bid to keep Lagos safe and secure. We'll be right back. You're still watching the City of Lagos TV show on TV Nigeria. Welcome to Lagos Agencies in Focus. Of course, this is a platform that enables us to confirm, ascertain, and of course, establish facts about existing strategic agencies in Lagos. And of course, to also find out how the agencies, in terms of their set objectives, are living up to the expectations of the Themes Plus agenda of Governor Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu. And straight to our focus today, we all know that the business of governance, especially in Africa's largest growing economy, the fastest growing commercial city center, and of course, a very strategic sub-national with ever-growing population, is never complete without a well-coordinated security architecture, a strategic master plan to provide the expected requirements for a safe and secure Lagos. There is one agency saddled with this responsibility. And of course, we are talking about the Lagos State Security Trust Fund. And our guest today is the Executive Secretary, Chief Executive Officer of the agency, Honorable Dr. Abdulrazak Balogun. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thank you. Pleasure's mine.
First and foremost, let's get to know you, because this is a very strategic agency, and it will be quite quite important to have a brief profile of your personality and professional background.
Well, I've been in the public service for the last 2.5 decades. I was an elected member of the House of Assembly for 12 years, where I held the position of the Chief Whip of the House. And after I left the House, I became the Executive Secretary here. My educational background, I'm a medical doctor by profession with distinction. I also hold various master's degrees in public health, public admin, and MBA. And I practiced medicine for a while, and then I went into public service.
Now, can you tell us what is the mandate, the vision and mission statement, and of course the key functions of the Lagos State Security Trust Fund, and how has the agency lived up to the Themes Plus agenda of Mr. Governor?
Our mandate generally is just to provide an enabling environment and support for general security of the state, to make the state very secure and very prosperous. We must understand the fact that we are an interventionist agency. We are not security agencies here. So the everyday security function is not under our purview here. Ours is just to see to aiding and supporting our security agencies for general security of the state. And that brings us to, our vision of making Lagos the safest, most prosperous commercial destination in Africa. And we know that Lagos holds a very strategic position in Africa. I think we're about maybe the 5th largest economy in Africa as a subnational after various countries. And our mission is very simple. It's just facilitating safety and security in the state, because the background must be known that security aspects of our country is under the exclusive list of our constitution. In other words, it is the exclusive purview of the federal government. But Lagos being a very innovative state, a state that is always first, among equals, we developed a strategy to see how we can support our security agencies, because we truly understand the nexus between security and a very prosperous state. And so without that, we know that we cannot have these various developments that we have been enjoying in Lagos State and the prosperity that Lagos has been known for. And so with the themes agenda, without security is the bedrock of the entire themes agenda. I talk about transportation. If you build rail lines and people don't feel safe entering that rail line, it's an effort in futility. If you're talking about education, if our kids cannot go to school and come back home safely, then what is the essence of the education? We're talking about tourism and culture. No culture, no tourism will thrive without a very secure environment. People want to come into Lagos, as we saw in every year during the Yuletide season. Last December was one of it that they tagged Dirty December. We knew how electric and electrifying Lagos was. It is because of that perception of a robust safety and security in the state. So essentially, I'll call this a very ingenious organization that was created as a child of circumstance in 2007, because at that time, the political terrain of the country was also not even in the favor of Lagos State. Lagos State was probably the only state in opposition at that time. So we knew that we had to support and do something to ensure that the state continues to prosper. And also, that Lagos holds a very strategic position in Nigeria. Everybody coming to Nigeria, the first port of call will be Lagos State. And so it is essential and important for us to keep it safe and prosperous.
When you're looking at an agency of this nature and considering your set objectives, it is very expedient to find out your strategic master plan, especially with regards to funding through public-private partnership arrangement, in order to make Lagos safer and secure.
Yeah, that's one of the most important bedrock of this organization, to provide funding for our agencies in the state. We have a model that was created in 2007 when this organization was created. Amongst other things, the main source of funding is voluntary donations by corporations and individuals. But over the years, the population, the change in crime rates, the expectations of various agencies of government because of our accessibility and the fact that we are quick to respond to needs of our agencies because we are devoid of the normal government bureaucratic tendencies and all that. So we've had a lot more agencies also that have been created by the state government also to harness and also to support the entire security architecture in the state. So funding is a very, very big issue. And for us, the model we're running at the moment is no longer sustainable. You can't have a system that requires maybe excess of, say, 50 billion naira per annum, and you're getting trickles of less than $1 billion a year. That is very dismal. And so we're working on a process or a way that we can look for other means of sustenance. And there are so many means of sustenance in Lagos State. There's so many means of getting revenue and funding in Lagos State. I'll give you an example. I was looking at a ticket yesterday, an air ticket, and I looked at the fare and also the surcharges. And I saw that, for instance, did you know that if you're buying an international ticket in Nigeria, you're paying what they call a security surcharge, which is about 30,000, 40,000 per passenger. If you do the math for just 1 million passenger, which is more than that, flying through our airports, that's over 4 billion naira. That's a source of revenue. You can imagine that, okay, well, that's a federal government agency, but there are also other means that we also can get revenues from individuals and corporations. So I'm looking forward to a time that would amend our legislation to make security or to create a levy on security in the state.
Is it on corporate organizations?
On every single individual that resides in the state. And you see, we have the population of over 23, 24 million people. And so people may think about it from the perspective of, this usual thing we always hear about taxes. But the truth of the matter is that if you want to enjoy a world-class city, and you want to sleep with your 2 eyes closed, something must happen. And there's no way in the world anyways that these things are free. Yes, there are social responsibilities of government, but government also has a way of sourcing resources. Because do not forget that one of the primary responsibilities of Lagos State government is still there. You have to provide education, you have to provide roads, goods and services are also there, healthcare is there. And so you cannot take the state government's resources to fund security wholly. It's not possible. The government cannot even afford it. If we took all the annual budgets of Lagos State and dump it into security aspect, it's not enough because it's a recurring and very, very expensive venture. And by the way, there are also so many innovations now all across the world that we can deploy. And you also know that all these things are imported and they're foreign exchange based. So goods and services have gone up. So we see the future that we must introduce something very subtle, something that will not affect you and I. If you go into a hotel now, all over the world, in America, in Dubai, everywhere, there are some little prints that you don't see for essential services, ambulance services, fire services. Somebody is paying for those services. They may be very dismal, very negligible, but it adds up. For a 23 million population, if we had, for instance, 1,000 naira per 23 million people, that's 23 billion. That's a lot of money. All right? So it tells you that it is doable and we need it to sustain this momentum that we have been sustaining in Lagos.
Is that the strategic master plan in the pipeline? Is this something you're tinkering?
Personally, it's been something that I've been tinkering with. But again, it's not in my place to make it happen because we have to go through the parliament. The governor has to approve that. ESCO probably has to approve that. And then we'll take it to parliament or, for them to approve that. So it's a process. But I feel that for us to sustain this momentum, we have to find a way to get resources that will be sustainable, that will be constant. We cannot continue to rely upon the goodwill of individuals and corporations who have the prerogative not to do it. And we've been seeing that a lot. And by the way, if you donate, for instance, when we started in 2007, and corporations donated 50 million naira, Hilux was just 3 million naira at that time. So we could buy close to about 15 Hilux with 50 million naira. But today, in 2025, 50 million will not buy a Hilux. So it tells you that we need a better way of funding to sustain the security architecture of the state.
The security outfits, the police and other paramilitary organizations already get their funding, right?
Supposedly.
What the agency is doing is to also complement, to boost the effectiveness.
Yes.
So what is that level of synergy and collaboration? Are you getting all the necessary?
Yeah, I mean, based on the question you asked me, of course they have budgetary allocations. Obviously, it's not adequate. And like I said, for us to sustain Lagos State, we have to do our own thing our own way. And that's why it's important that we continue to support them. And for the synergy, it has been very fantastic. I mean, when we set out to create this agency at that time, and incidentally, this was a legislation that I was part of as a member of the House. And this was the first legislation of Governor Fashola at that time. I mean, most legislations like this, or most agencies like this, are usually sunset. What we call sunset in Parliament is that it works for a while, and after a while, it fizzles out because there's no need for it anymore. But 17 years down the line, there's still a need for it. A lot of government agencies all across the country have come here to look at our model and replicate in their states. It tells you that it is still very, very necessary. I think this is the 9th police commissioner I'm working with since I got on this seat. And we've had a very fantastic relationship, even with the military, with the other armed forces and all that of the Lagos Neighborhood Safety Corps, because we never claim to want to take over anybody's function. So, and I think for what we do for them, they are, very grateful. And also the fact that the governor, as the head of the Security Council and also as the governor of the state, there is also this constant interaction and engagement between the security agencies and also my agency. And so we've had a very good symbiotic relationship with all of them.
Since you came on board, can you tell us your achievements, innovative initiatives, and success story?
Without this organization, I don't know where I would be in Lagos State. I liken this organization to cameramen, producers that people don't see. And so all they see is the Nigerian police and all of them in front. But we are at the back end, running around, doing a lot of this stuff. So for us, we've achieved a lot of milestones here. We have a very robust system, security network system in the state, that makes Lagos quite impenetrable. We've had a system where we are a very, very accountable organization. I dare say that. This is an organization that every 1 naira spent or donated is accounted for transparently. And that also brings a lot of confidence over the years. If you look at the security network in Lagos State, over 17 years, there's a lot of political rallies going on across the state. You need to go to those places to see the amount of deployment of equipment, of personnel, and the way and manner they conduct themselves. That's very important to us here, because training is a very, very critical aspect of our function there. And we do it periodically, and we also make sure that the earmarks are there. Also, over the years, I dare say of any agency of government that you can have assets that are as old as 12, 13, 14 years. We maintain our assets as at when due. We also ensure that we replace them when we can. And that's not the only thing. If you ask members of RRS, the Rapid Response Squad that are directly beneficiary of this organization solely, everybody talks about the vehicles. That is the list of what we do here. I mean, how do you send a man out to go and police you without kitting the person well, without boosting their morale, without ensuring that if they die in the line of duty, they are compensated, which we've instituted that again in the state. So when you see them in terms of their uniforms, their accoutrements, and those little things. So right now we are expecting to also distribute sets of raincoats and rain boots to our men. So there's a lot we are doing to boost their morale. And I think as we're doing all that, they are also reciprocating by ensuring that Lagos continues to remain safe. So I think we've accomplished a lot. There's still a lot of work to be done. Like I said, we are not a security agency. And so the responsibility of keeping peace and law and order is on the police and all other agencies. We are just a supporting system, and we continue to do that, and we have also done that quite effectively.
Let's look at the angle of monitoring, because as much as you give out vehicles and equipment, there is a tendency for mismanagement.
Of course.
And so that means there must be some level of maintenance culture. Do you have any mechanism in place? Monitoring, make sure?
Our mechanism is very robust. I dare say that if you want any record from inception of this organization till date, we have all the records of equipments we have given out, equipments that are obsolete, equipments that have been taken out of the fleet, how they're managed by credible vendors and who we have hired by very competitive means, who give us reports of their maintenance and their repairs. That is very, very important to us. Again, we have such a system that, every asset that we give our agencies, even when they are old, they cannot even dispose of it without recourse to us. That's how much we monitor and ensure that our assets are in good shape. And by the way, most of these assets that we extend to these folks, they cannot even be taken out of Lagos. For instance, RRS now, you can never find RRS in Ogun State. The only way you find them is when Ogun State calls for an intervention or support from us, maybe through the Long Bridge, when there are issues around that area. I also have other systems that I cannot say on TV that we use to monitor them. But like I said, over the years, because of the kind of commanders and the headships of those places, there have also been very, very disciplined and very, very upright officers manning these places.
All right, thank you very much. Now, it's very critical to engage occasionally or periodically, community leaders, traditional rulers, local government chairmen, and Lagosians. So, is there any forum?
Yes, we try as much as possible. People will say that we should be more out there and all that, but we also run a kind of corporate setting here because most of our board of trustees are also from the corporate world. And so there are people who are very accomplished. The way we disseminate our information, we have a very robust website. We have different medium that we use to disseminate our information. But what we do most importantly is an annual town hall meeting. We hold a very robust annual town hall meeting that is hosted by the governor. And since I got here and since the inception of this organization, no governor has delegated that duty. They've always been there for the last 17 years. And what that does is that we bring all people from the different walks of life. They will come into an arena. Police commissioner will speak about what he has done for the year. The governor will speak about his security plans and all that. We'll ask questions and answers. We'll render our stewardship and generally render our accounts to the Kobo transparently. And I think over the years, we've always had a very good attendance. And generally speaking, people are always, they commend us so highly because they see it openly and they see that. They also see, most importantly, how prudent this organization is. So we interact with people and I also personally with my team pay courtesy calls to some of our very important donors to thank them, to also intimate them of what we have been doing. And so we're doing that by our own little way of ensuring that we get out there.
In terms of human capacity building, what effort are you making to increase your level of exposure, experience for effectiveness?
When we came on board, there was no such thing here because everybody was trying to just build this organization and channel all resources there. But I felt that from my experience over time that you must build capacity, you must train people. And so in my staffs, we go for annual retreat and also they are also open to bring forward anything that can enhance their capacity. We have just 8 staffers here doing work of maybe 30 people and their compensation is not anything too great. They're making sacrifices, including myself, to make sure that we do a lot more for the state and also the agencies that we're supporting and to ensure that, all these monies that we get are channeled towards, good means and all that. So capacity building is very, very important to me. And like I said, all our security agencies too, particularly the RRS, we also have earmarks for them to bring forward any training course or anything that can also enhance their capacity. One of the most important messages that we pass to them is that under a democratic dispensation, they have to be civil. They must understand that their salaries and their emoluments are paid from taxpayers' money. So they must treat people with utmost respect. And I think when people talk about the IRS, they liken them to exclusive kind of force because of the constant training and retraining that we offer them.
It's been a pleasure having you on the program.
Thank you very much.
It's been quite expository listening to the great efforts and initiatives of a Lagos State Security Trust Fund. Now, what are the challenges there are definitely challenges.
Since I got on this seat, I really don't see much challenges apart from the normal Nigerian issues, normal day-to-day issues that we face every day. I have men and women in the police force who, for me, in my view, they need to get better rewards. People cannot be putting down their lives for us and they're not well compensated. People cannot be bearing arms without ensuring that their welfare is solid. I mean, I'm very concerned about their welfare, particularly their accommodation. It's very important that, people that are going to secure our lives must also have a certain level of peace and tranquility around them. I'm very, very also particular about their health care.
So not just about giving them equipment.
No, we have an ambulance service with RRS, 2 ambulances where we have medical personnel there. They check their blood pressure, their vitals on a daily basis. From there, we have seen a lot of them carrying very, very massive blood pressure that if they weren't detected, they would just like drop dead and go because of the amount of hours they put into this thing. So for me, these are some of the things that are of great concern to me. Do I have control over them? No. I'm not in the police force. I'm not their hierarchy. I'm not the people that dictate whatever they do. But again, I also know that by interaction, they are also trying their best in various ways to probably ameliorate some of these problems. I just wish that I had a lot of resources. We have about 9,900 and something roads in Lagos State. My dream is to have a kind of response time of less than 5 minutes, that you can call the police on a number and they're there. I also wish that we could have modern equipment. All over the world now, it's not everywhere you see boots on ground. You think somebody's not seeing you. You're looking up the sky, you're seeing something like a balloon there. There's a camera watching you. There's so many things that are out there now. There's artificial intelligence now that you can deploy. But again, these things cost money. And so I wish that, again, there's nowhere in the world where you have a mega city like Lagos and you will not be prepared for riots or unrest. We need equipment to be able to curtail these things that would be very seamless, that will not cause any bodily harm to any protester, but again, secure our citizens. These are very, very important things that we also require for our security forces. But by and large, in our country, I think Lagos is still attested to be the safest destination or state in this country. And considering the population, considering the amount of commerce going on there, the land borders are here, the international airports are here, the railway stations are here, a lot of people trooping in every day and all that. So it is a very, very huge burden that we carry. And yet the government of the state also has to provide amenities for the people.
What are you doing about data?
We have explored it so many, many times. We believe strongly that data is very, very important. But you see, again, when you talk about data, once a data is distorted, it has messed up the entire data. And so we must rebuild the confidence of citizens and the police, because a lot of things are happening in this country or in our state that people are not reporting. Again, for reasons best known to them, but we're also Nigerians, we also know the reasons why some of these things are not there. Again, data is such that we have a lot of agencies of government. The immigration is there, NNPC is there, the banks are there on BVN. Can't we just marry all this data together and give access to agencies of government to be able to access these things? So all this, and you can see that a lot of people are having a lot of apathy when it comes to issues of data, because again, people are also very skeptical. What are you doing with all this data that you're collecting? So it's very important that we have a kind of system where agencies of government, particularly the police, can key into those data and have a general identification system that once you're born, like the social security numbers, once you're born, you have this number that will enable us to be able to plan for the future, that will enable us to build infrastructure. So I think data is something that we've always looked into. We've had a lot of seminars on it. I've attended so many. We also did a very robust security summit in the States where we dedicated a whole day on data gathering and data information and informatics and all that. But again, like I said, the implementation is not in the hands of this organization.
Thank you very much. That's fantastic. So, how will you describe the support of Mr. Governor to the agency?
In one word, Mr. Governor has been very fantastic, quite dependable and reliable. And it's been like that with all successive governors. They understand the fact that they hold a very, very strong role in ensuring that this agency keeps moving, because they help to reach out to potential donors to access resources. And they've always been very supportive. And what's most important, again, is the fact that this agency runs a very free hand. There's no interference in our activities. Also, the Security Council that I sit on with the governor as the chairman and other members of the Security Committee also avails us that opportunity to interact from time to time. And that synergy has also helped a lot in ensuring a very secure state.
It is quite expedient to create that public network, with the internet. So what are your social media handles?
lssdf.lagostate.gov.ng. That's our website. Our Twitter is @followLSSDF. Instagram @followLSSDF. And then our Facebook is just Lagos State Security Trust Fund. All the banks in Lagos State, in the country, we have accounts with them. So our accounts are there in the public space. And donating money is the easiest thing. Putting in money into the bank account is the easiest thing to do. Is bringing it out as a problem. So we're all over all the banks. We've also tried to also look at influencers. From my position here, I've come to realize that I don't want to say some misplaced priorities in our country, but I've seen a lot where you're rendering this kind of service for the entire population. All the musicians that cash out at concerts without a very, very secure environment, people will not come for their concerts. But so you call them to, hey, can you say something about this organization? Can you influence the amount of your followers that you have? They'll give you some very, very high bills that you cannot even speak about. And so you ask yourself.
They just need to give back something.
Exactly. And by just their voice, it speaks a lot. But certainly we cannot afford that payment. We cannot afford even the least of them. But we're saying that they have the power of their voice to propagate this organization, to be able to assist and get more donations into the fund.
Thank you very much, the Executive Secretary, CEO of the Lagos State Security Trust Fund.
Thank you.
So what are the future plans? Of course, moving forward, policy direction and initiatives?
We want to invest more in technology. We want to engage more with the public and be out there, let people know what we do, let people have a buy-in into what we do. We want to, we're looking forward to a time in this state where we'll have our own state police, because we are ripe enough for it. We have funded federal police for a very long time. It's about time we did ours now. And we believe that we'll have a more secure state if we have a complement of the state police and the federal police. I think Lagos is ripe for it. As a matter of fact, we say that you can start the pilot scheme from Lagos. Let's see how it runs. And you'll see that from there, you can now move to other parts of the country. So that's what we see in the future, because all crimes are local. And so you can't bring a man from Maiduguri to come and police somebody in Etiosa. It's not going to work. And you cannot also take somebody from Lagos and take him to Maiduguri who doesn't know the culture and traditions of the people that is policing. So these are the issues that we envisage that over time, our parliamentarians at the national level will look at these things critically, and at some point, Lagos State will get there.
So on a final note, word of encouragement, appreciation, assurance to your stakeholders, partners, and Lagosians.
To thank our donors, some of them for their consistency over the years. Some of them have been pretty much consistent. I just want to thank them for their support. And by supporting the trust fund, they're also supporting themselves. And we want to also let them know that we will continue to try our best. And we assure them that every resources donated to the trust fund will be judiciously applied and spent.
Do you by chance get any international donors?
No, we have never gotten any international donors.
You're not making any attempt?
No, we try to, because I know that we reach out to some embassies in the States, American embassy, German embassy, British embassy, Italian, to even see how we can, collaborate, maybe by way of training or by way of even the equipments. There's so many equipments in the Western world that, they try to give out to other parts of the world. And some of these equipments are also very, very standard equipments.
Honorable Dr. Abdulrazak Balogun, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
For the opportunity to speak with you. Interestingly, you're doing a very fantastic job.
Thank you.
And like you said, you need all the support you can to make Lagos safe and secure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Well, it's been a wonderful time speaking with the Executive Secretary of the Lagos State Security Trust Fund on Lagos agencies in focus. It's been quite expository, very educative and informative, telling us the various strategies, efforts, and initiatives to position this agency. And to put it simply, Lagos as a subnational with the ever-growing population requires a very dynamic and pragmatic agency like the Lagos State Security Trust Fund. And that's it on Lagos Agencies in Focus. Thanks for watching. The City of Lagos TV show will continue in a moment. We'll be right back. The love for Lagos is love for progress and justice. Believe in Lagos. See you next week.